His work was like a punch in your face that to wake you up.
He want everybody to have an experience in front of his canvases, no matter how, no matter which experience they would have. They have to be pinched on the flesh by my grandfather's paintings.
Él era una persona absolutamente respetuoso con todo el mundo, absolutamente generoso con todo el mundo y con unas ideas muy claras de lo que era lo justo y sobre todo aborrecía totalmente este poder absoluto, este fascismo que tuvimos que soportar durante tantos años.
Con la gente, la gente que éramos nosotros, era igual que nosotros, era la persona más sencilla, más amable y más querida para todos. Nosotros, la familia, lo queríamos como si fuera uno más de la familia. Lo que pasa es que todo está mal ahora. Aquí es donde él dormía, esta es su habitación. Aquí es donde había las visitas, dormían aquí. Aquí tenemos esta habitación, aquí dormían los nietos. Pues es así. Es muy triste porque está pues todo un poco mal, pero bueno, a mí me da muchos recuerdos. Yo viví aquí desde el año 55 al 75. Todos los veranos Miró venía aquí en Montroig, venía a finales de junio y se iba a finales de septiembre, primeros de octubre. Y aquí es donde él trabajaba. Esta bata la llevaba él para pintar. Caja de pintura y pinceles de Miró. Miren, esto es precioso. Aquí dentro cogía las cosas, aquí dentro lo ponía. Eso me acuerdo que lo traía así y decía, eso quemarlo.
¿Y los quemáis?
Sí, todos. Aquí abajo es donde íbamos a la playa. Él cuando era joven bajaba corriendo desde aquí arriba hasta allá abajo. Y la gente creía que estaba un poco loco, porque éramos primeros de ciclo y la gente no corría entonces. Solo corrían los que tenían que escaparse de alguna cosa. Mire, esto de aquí es el taller de Miró. Mire, y la autopista está al lado mismo. Yo creo que pobre Miró lloraría si viera eso.
Catalonia was what gave him the force to become a great artist. And the nationalism of Miro, it was not about political strong feelings, but was most about poetical feelings with nature. To be close to a little grass, to be close to a little snail, all those creatures that were talking to him. That was Miro's nationalism. Montroig was a universe for my grandfather's work. All his impulse and his will came from Monroig. Without Monroig, my grandfather would have never been Miro.
The work was his life. I think I'm positive that Miro should have been a man without success, without being able to show his work. He dies. Because the work for him, it was everything, his life.
He was forced by himself to paint. It's something that came from inside, from his soul, from his spirit. It was a living or dying need. He had no choice.
Miró era un artista para mí muy auténtico. O sea, arte y vida formaban parte, era una unión indisoluble.
He was very much into provoking himself. It was a fight between Dr. Jekyll and Dr. Hyde. There was an interior combat. And that's what really mattered the most to my grandfather.
Tenía siempre un horario exacto, se levantaba por la mañana y iba un momento en el taller, desayunaba a las 9 y se iba otra vez al taller y después a las 2 que comíamos, que siempre se comía a las 2, entonces la señora lo llamaba, la señora Pilar, y lo llamaba y él venía a comer. Después de comer, hacía un poco de siesta y pasaba periódicos y cartas, y si tenía que escribir cartas y todo. Y después, por la noche, salía un ratito a pasear,
When he moved to Mallorca in 1957, in the studio set in Palma de Mallorca, he used to maintain the same pattern. Because for him, perseverance and routine was basic to be able to control his world. He basically settled down in Palma de Mallorca in 1957.
Era un poco el retiro, pero un retiro muy eficaz, porque es de Mallorca, es de donde realmente nace la mayor parte de las obras de Joan Miró.
This is Joan Miro's house. He used to live here and he passed away here in 1983. All the architecture was put together by him in 1956 to have the house next to his studio, to be able to work every single day here. And this is Joan Miro's studio. He used to come down here with complete isolation. It was like a monk in the cell of a cathedral.
It's totally different, isn't it?
Yeah. And so light and...
Just wondering whether this is the blue of the...
This is where he painted the blue triptychs.
Of the blue triptychs that are in the Pompidou collection, which will come to the exhibition.
And
you can see the line of blue along that end wall.
There were 2 blue canvases along this wall and the third one along that.
How very exciting.
That was the studio basically to work on canvases. But when he had to work in huge mural paintings, he used to go to another studio up the hill.
Somboter is the name of the area in general, no? And it's an old building of 18th century.
And this relates to sculptures in particular.
Are sketches of sculptures or ceramics.
So this is what we got very excited
Yes.
about, wasn't it?
This is the fireworks. He finished on the 9th of February 1974, at the same time as he finished The Hope of a Condemned Man. We know from the paint splats that these are actually where the canvases stood. In this space, he painted along these three walls the horizontal panels of The Hope of a Condemned Man. So the canvas was standing here, leaning up, kind of twisted against the wall, while the other two canvases were there. And so he painted the triptych really as a space that he inhabited, that he was inside, surrounded by on three sides by this painting.
Being in Spain during the dictatorship, for my grandfather, for me, was more important than being like Picasso in France, where he passed away. Because you have to be inside.
Se rebelaba, a pesar de ser una persona muy mayor, quería una Mallorca más moderna, quería una España más moderna, quería él realmente quería participar en un cambio que ya se veía próximo.
There was nothing. Spain was a desert. There was nothing, you understand? Everybody that had an ideology was obliged to flee away from Spain or was killed.
When we were talking about political, it was very short and very, very concise, very clear, but very short. Then it was his work and trying to fight with his work, not with his word, with his work.
So he knew that his role to change minds and to open spirits was key for the success of transition. So working with young people, with the galleries, with the poets, with the painter, with the theatre actors, that was his most important occupation.
The only ambition he had, in my opinion, is that he wanted to achieve to more people, to more countries, to more museums, to more galleries, but not for a monetary question at all.
El dinero no le importaba en absoluto para nada, o sea, era una persona que nunca, yo creo que nunca llegó a comprender por qué se pagaba tanto por su obra.
He didn't care about business. He didn't care about, hey, I got this painting, it's worth $1 million. That was not my grandfather. As a matter of fact, in 1973, he was burning canvases to provoke the art dealers, M.M. Mack and Pierre Matisse, to see who would bet that destroyed, burned, and stepped on canvas could find a client. I was 10 years old and I went down with my grandfather to his studio. And when I saw that old man with so many paintings, hundreds and hundreds of paintings placed all around him, I could witness how he was working with the energy of a 20-year-old boy.
Murió con 93 años y no descansó nunca, porque trabajar siempre trabajó. No había ni un día que él no trabajara.
I was a bit afraid that he got tired and said, Joan, don't you get tired with so much work? Because it is it's enormous. And he took my arm and said, no, Pepe, I have to work now because when I'll be old, I won't be able to work. So, and in that day, he was 80 years old, his birthday, 80 years.